Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome to F1 Manager 23 on PS5. Tonight it's time for round 21 of Season 2. We're heading to Brazil for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. So here we are then, ready for our final sprint race of the season. Just two more races to go after tonight. We'll have Las Vegas tomorrow and the season finale on Friday at Abu Dhabi. And George is now in a pretty commanding point in the lead of the championship after last night's result. With Lewis's retirement, we now have a 39-point lead for George. That's pretty substantial. So let's see what happens tonight. See if Lewis can maybe close the gap up a little bit and see if he can still take it to the final round of the championship. There's 34 points on offer for a win tonight. And second place in the sprint and second place in the race will net a total of 25 points. Plus there's the extra point that floats around for the fastest lap, so that could alternate. So theoretically, Lewis, if he gets a gets a win in both events tonight, could reduce the gap down by 8 points. That's still not a lot. That's still going to leave him 31 points behind with just 2 races to go. So it is looking more and more likely now that George is going to win the championship. But a retirement for George tonight could throw this thing wide open. It'll be interesting to see exactly what happens. We do have a wet race or wet practice and a wet qualifying, a very wet qualifying by the look of it. And then we'll have a sort of a damp sprint. By the look of that, got some light rain forecast for the Saturday, but it will be dry on the Sunday, so it will be a straight race with no weather to throw off the main event. Let's take a quick look at our car going into today's Grand Prix. We are running different specs on our cars because of the way the parts are going at the moment. Not really much we can do about that, but you can see that some upgrades have been brought, or maybe it is just the fact that George is also now starting to run some lower parts, as we are no longer the best DRS on the grid. We are second in that. Our cornering performance has dropped to third on the grid. Dirty tolerance is 8th, and Lewis's car is slightly worse. So if we just compare the cars, you can see that George has a speed and acceleration advantage. He's got more downforce through the corners. He's got better dirty air tolerance. He's got better brake cooling as well. This is not deliberate. It's just an unfortunate byproduct of the fact that we broke the cost cap. And I don't want to pay through the nose to emergency manufacture replacement parts because we can't do normal manufacturing. That's been locked out, seeing as we broke the cost cap. So we're just going through replacing what parts break just through time or through crashes with whatever we've got left in stock from earlier in the season. So our car performances are going to drop over the next few races, just as things wear out and need to be replaced with lower performance pieces. So that will maybe balance the cars up a little bit more in the next couple of races, but George is going into this one with a little bit of an advantage, as you can see. Nothing too substantial, but it will add up over the course of a race. Let's take a look at Red Bull and see where we stand against Red Bull. We've got a little bit of a speed advantage. They have a little bit of an acceleration advantage. And while we're better than them in the low speed corners, they are better than us in the medium and high speed. Now, Brazil's a bit of a mix. We shall see some of everything on this circuit. Really, a lot of very fast sections in terms of top speed. The DRS is definitely going to be useful here with the long DRS straight going along the main straight, followed by the long DRS straight coming out of turn 3 on the run down to turn 4, and as you can see, we've got a mixture of medium, high and low speed corners, so a bit of an all-round circuit. Track can be a little abrasive, so tyre wear can be a bit of an issue. The softs don't generally last too long here, but we shall see how that lasts, how they last. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with strategy wise just yet. Let's set some targets for tonight's race. We've got an incentive in qualifying to get 2 in the top 4. Hopefully we'll be able to do that, but Lewis was 10th in qualifying last night, so who knows. We will get both into Q3 and we will get both into Q2. That's not really an issue. The incentive is the finish position 2 in the top 4. Should be able to manage that if both cars can actually stay on the track. We'll go for the fastest lap as well. And then the finish position streak, 2 in the top 6 for 2 races. Now, we still seem to have that bug that was prevalent in the previous game. That doesn't seem to have been fixed. We didn't get 2 finishing in the top 6 last night. We only got 1 car finishing, period. So that should have broken, but it didn't. And I'm not quite sure why. So, actually, did Lewis retire last night? I can't remember. He might have actually finished. Let's have a quick look. Oh, he did. Yeah, he finished 3rd. Yeah, he finished 3rd. I don't know why I thought he retired. Maybe just because the gap's so big. Yeah, so, okay, the finish position worked, but we failed the quali streak. Obviously, we set it very generously as well, at 2 in the top 8 for the remaining 5 races, and then Lewis qualified 10th, and we broke that. So this is our last chance to set a new streak. Unless we fail this one tonight, we'll have 1 more go tomorrow, but ideally we want to try and get this one done. I am going to play it conservative again. We're going to go to 2 in the top 8, and just keep our fingers crossed that we actually do it. And there we go, that is our target set for tonight. So let's head to Brazil.
Our F1 season brings us to Brazil for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. The Autodromo José Carlos Pache has been a staple of the racing calendar for decades, and soon we'll once again be watching the best drivers in the world give it their all. Interlagos Sector 2 is a maze of twists and turns, demanding the highest downforce. Sectors 1 and 3 are high speed, however, giving drivers plenty to keep them busy around this thrilling track.
It's not a usual F1 weekend though, with qualifying brought forward to make way for an all-out sprint race, which will decide the grid for the Grand Prix.
It's time then for another thrilling weekend of F1 drama.
So, Farah's in the chat, as is Zane, Anthony, and Horrific. How are you guys doing? Anthony is on for a title run on his McLaren save. Well, fingers crossed for you. See how you do. Right, heavy rain in the first session and or qualifying. Let's see. Because it's a sprint, we're not going to be running Teo. We want to make sure that both our drivers have as much prep as possible. We're also not necessarily going to go onto soft tyres. I'm going to go medium tyres for this session. Let's see. Brazil is normally 21 laps, but obviously we're going to pull them in as soon as they are done. So I'm just going to put 20 in just to make sure they've got enough fuel to get full feedback. I have 5 setups in the book to choose from, and obviously last year's book as well. Let's start with a 6.5, a 13, a 3.7, a 3.25, and a 0.15. There we go. And we need to swap the parts out as well. So let's go with that engine there. That ERS, and we'll go with that gearbox. Okay, So that's George set. Now let's turn our attention to Lewis. So again, we're going to go medium tyres. Let's swap out the parts. So we'll go with that engine tonight. We'll go with that ERS unit. And we'll go with that gearbox. And that leaves us the 94 for the race. Okay. Run plan. We'll come to that in a second. Let's do his setup. Let's go with let's go with something very different. So we'll go with a 7, a 12.5, a 1.9, a 3.50, and 0.8. There we go. And we'll go for 20 laps, drop the pace down, and we are good to go. Alright, let's send them into practice. Let's check the weather. So it's going to start raining pretty soon, and then it'll rain for the rest of the session. It is full wets. So just to make sure we don't lose out on tyres, we're going to send them out just for the first few laps on mediums, because otherwise it's going to take the softs from us that we don't want to
lose. Just a radio check.
And we are going to swap them around on track. We're going to put Lewis in front of George, because Lewis has got a much better engine for this session, so he will be a lot quicker. Just
So
removes the chance of them getting in each other's way and having an accident.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah, radio's loud and clear, Lewis. Try and increase car cooling a little bit more.
There we go. So Hamilton will catch and pass George. And as soon as he does, George will just pull over. And here comes the rain already.
Copy.
We've still got a couple more laps, I think, before we need to box.
Definitely feel like I got some damage.
Stand by, Lewis, we're looking into it.
There we go, Hamilton has made the switch now. Heavy rain is 3 minutes away.
Temperature okay?
Surface temps is still cool all round. Rain is imminent.
Understood.
And there we go. It just suddenly came on very quickly indeed. So cars coming in at the end of this lap. We'll put them straight onto full wets. I think we are just going to blitz straight through the 4 millimeter threshold for inters. Do we have any rookies tonight? No, we don't. The only one I've seen so far this season has been Paulo yesterday at Mexico. And it reminded me of some interesting goings-on at McLaren. They're suing Alex Paulo. For those of you who aren't aware, Alex Paulo is currently on the precipice of winning the IndyCar World Championship. He's been driving for Chip Ganassi for the last couple of seasons, and had a contract initially signed with McLaren to race for them in 2023, or an agreement to sign to race for them in 2023, and Chip Ganassi had an option on his contract, so they extended that option, and there was some legal issues and it kind of got sorted, but for a while it was almost like a mirror of what was going on with Piastri as well. So he re-signed for Chip Ganassi for this season, and was supposed to be joining McLaren's IndyCar team next season. But he's now changed his mind and wants to stay with Chip Ganassi. So the last 2-3 years of strange legal battles that have been going on have kind of gone full circle in some respect, and he's now wanting to renege on his deal with McLaren and stay with Chip Ganassi. And so they're suing him for, I think, somewhere between 25 and 30 million dollars. Because apparently, they covered his legal bills and they paid his salary in advance for next season, and yeah, a bit messy, very messy. But McLaren involved in weird issues with driver contracts again. Like I say, it's very strange for that to happen again so soon after all the drama they went through trying to get Piastri. Even Steve is Russell World Champion already. Not mathematically, but he has got one hand on the title. He's 39 points clear with 3 races to go. But a retirement from Russell in any of the remaining races will really potentially close everything right back up again. So, yeah, it's not over yet, but it's looking very good for George. Evening, Mr. Water, good to see you. We do have feedback from George, 90%. We know that Lewis is not going to have a strong setup. We just saw a quick snippet of his partial feedback. And we're definitely going to have to change the rear wing, push that to a 13.
Just be mindful.
There we go, I was just waiting for that, for the full feedback. Let's call him in, and I hope we got him in time. And, oh, he's 67. That is bad. McLaren are calling me to get them back to the glory days. Well, yeah, we'll be throwing up a poll for you guys to decide which team I go to next. I will give you some options. I won't give you all the options, but I'll probably give you 3 or 4 teams to choose from. We'll see what those options will be on Friday. And let's see, what do we need to change here? Let's start by quick look at the book. Going to drop that to a 3.15 and that to a 0.1. And we'll push that up to a 7. And we'll see how that goes. I'm also going to change the tyres to Inters for the next run. And let's do Lewis. Ooh, we're way off on this one. Okay, so let's push that to 13. I'm going to pull that back to a 4.6. Let's go 7, 13, 4, 6, a 3.0 and a 0. Let's have a look at that. So changes look good on the front wing, braking, traction, straights. Cornering might be a little much, but we'll see. If I go like that. That is a setup that has worked as 100% before, so I am going to go with that and see how that works, but we can make the change if we need to. We'll throw on some inters for Lewis as well. And let's send them out. Just in time for the rain to start to dissipate a little bit. That's a very quick time for Schumacher. Steve says he's still in disbelief how a team like Mercedes can get it so wrong. You think their days are numbered? Well, no, I mean, all teams go through periods where they'll get something wrong. I mean, look at McLaren, for example, as a prime example. McLaren were convinced when they restarted their partnership with Honda that their chassis was good. You know, that they had a really good car. It was just being let down by the engine. And then they signed with Renault after 3 years of really struggling with Honda, and realised that actually no, not only was the Honda engine bad, their car was pretty shit too. But they were convinced that their car was good, but they were being let down by the power unit. And yeah, that was a wake-up call for Mercedes. But that was years ago. And they're still only now just getting back. You look at Williams. Williams were so dominant,
here.
you know, at one point in the 90s, and then it just started drifting away, just a little bit here and a little bit there, and then you cut to the 2010s, and they're nowhere, and they have a season or two where they start to come back a little bit, and then gone. So, you know, it happens. You know, Mercedes had a concept that on paper looked really good, but they just didn't have that understanding of ground effect, and that's what threw them off. You know, they've got a good engine, they've got a decent car, but they just don't have that knowledge of ground effect to get the best out of their car. They will get better, but I don't think anyone's realistically going to be challenging Red Bull in an equal fight until the next set of regulation changes, probably. As much as it pains me to say that. I think what we'll see is the roles flipped between Red Bull and Mercedes. So how it was in, you know, the late 2010s going into 2020, where Red Bull was a good car that was just lacking that little bit, but they were there, they were fighting for wins, they were getting wins, but the Mercedes was the better car. That's how I see the last season or two of the current rules. Red Bull, the better car, Mercedes nipping at their heels. I think they'll close the gap, but yeah, Red Bull's still going to be the better car, I think. That's assuming that next year's car works, you know, as intended. McLaren have definitely had a bit of a resurgence, you know, in the second half of this season, so they could be the number 2 team next season.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, we've had a spin for George.
Yellow.
It was George Russell involved. And the controls lost. Oh, dearie
least
me,
he
you
didn't, go
don't
into
want
the
to be
barriers.
doing that.
Ferrari are another team as well. I mean, look at how dominant Ferrari were at the beginning of the millennium. You know,
Give us a balance check.
they were close in the late 90s on a couple of occasions, and then it just clicked. 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, qualifying constructors champions back to back. Schumacher 4-time drivers champion in a row. No, sorry, 5-time. It's you know, and then Ferrari just kind of, you know, they were there or thereabouts in 2007. They nearly won the world championship with in 2007 they won the world championship with Raikkonen. In 2008 Massa was a point away from winning the title, and then it just started to go downhill. And then their car was really bad in the early 2010s, right before the regulation changes, with the engine changes. But Alonso somehow made that car competitive, even though it was just an absolute pig of a car. And then, you know, they had a little mini resurgence briefly with Vettel, but, you know, they've never quite got back to where they were. So right, we have maybe overshot the tyre camber, so we are going to push that there and see what that does. Still waiting for the final bit of feedback from George. %. Okay.
So what do you like on the balance?
That was better.
There you go.
Renault are another example again. I mean, they were, you know, dominant in 94 and 95 with Schumacher, and then 96 was Williams, 97 was Williams, 98, 99 were McLaren, 2000 was Ferrari. You know, it wasn't until 2005 and then 2006 that Renault were, you know, champions again, and then after that, nothing. Been nowhere since then. So, you know, teams have these spells where they get it right and they're very, very strong, and then it goes away. You know, that is the nature of racing. All right, we're going to put George onto the setup we tried with Lewis. See if that works, because that actually looks pretty close. I mean, going back to McLaren as well, I mean, they were mighty in the late 80s and going through into the very early 90s. And then the 91 Williams was quick. The 92 Williams was all-conquering, you know, and McLaren just fell apart after that. And, you know, ending their partnership with Honda and going to Peugeot didn't help. That was a disaster. And then they had a brief spell with Ford, and that didn't really do them much. Yeah, I mean, McLaren just fell apart until, you know, 98. All of a sudden they came good with Mercedes engines. They were mighty in 98 and 99. Oh, no. Cancel. I've got to send Russell out. There we go. Evening, Matthew. Yeah, it has been a while. How you been?
Are you sure everything is okay? Something feels odd.
Oh, spin for Paris.
Oh, I'll get back to you.
Alright, we'll get some partial feedback here.
So we have taken the flag.
Just to see, hopefully we'll get enough pointers that we've gone the right direction on these setups. Penalty for Max. Does that mean a new engine? I think it probably does. Yeah, new engine for Max. He's going to be very quick this weekend. Just checking out the rest of the competition. Perez on an old engine now. Okay. Let's have a look at Alonso. Yep, he's not on the greatest of powertrains. Bit better for Stroll, running a new gearbox this weekend. Let's have a look at the Alpines. Oh, look at that. New-ish engine for Ocon. Gasly's engine is in pretty bad shape. So we've got Verstappen, Magnussen. They're the only two on penalties at the moment. Salmon Panko.
Welcome everyone, qualifying for the sprint awaits us, and we're raring to get going.
Just like normal qualifying, the session this weekend will be divided into Q1, Q2 and Q3, with the best times determining the grid for the sprint.
In terms of George Russell and his form, Karun, how's he going to be feeling, do you imagine?
It hasn't been a great showing from the team's drivers so far. Neither will want to be left behind, and I'm sure they'll both be looking to pull ahead today.
So get yourselves comfortable, it's going to be quite the ride.
Is this game better than F1 22? F1 Manager 22, sorry. Yes, it is. It has a bit more variety, a bit more difficulty, although it's still a little easier than I would like. We've got sprints now as well, which is nice. Car development has been a bit better balanced. The cost cap is definitely more of an issue. So yeah, overall it's definitely a better improvement. There's still room for that to get even better, but it's on the right track and a definite step up from last year. Yeah, we'll stick with that gearbox. Right. Let's see. How close did we get? It's not quite there. Front wing is off. It's my last opportunity to make a change. And I dipped that down to a 6.5. And I'm going to go with that and see how that works. Right, Lewis is set. It is raining, so we're going to go with 2 flying laps. And we'll use the scrub inters, I think. We'll go 2 flying laps with George, and let's see, can we make a tweak here? Don't know. That is looking all right. We'll just have to trust in that one. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of the values just in case. Right, let's send them out. Okay, so we've got a period of wet and then a few laps of dry at the end. We'll get a couple of laps in on these inters just to get some good confidence in the drivers, and then we'll just do a dry lap at the end of the session.
Is that lap normal?
Yep.
We should do some work on the brakes.
Okay.
All right, well, take it easy, Matthew. Thanks for stopping in, saying hello.
It's all clear. So you're good to go.
You got a good gap ahead. Good to go.
Alright, so Hamilton has the edge in sector 1. Right, the water level is pretty stable right now. Sector 2, and George do. George slightly quicker. So the sprint for the line. And Hamilton is quicker. So Hamilton did a 1:12.0. And 1:12.1 for George, 36 thousandths of a second off. So very, very close between the two. Let's speed up, given that this second lap is kind of irrelevant. Technically, so is the first one.
So keep that delta tight.
Given that it's going to be dry
Cool the car
in a few minutes. And these times are going to be multiple seconds too slow. So let's grab a set of softs. Change the run plan down to just one lap. And just wait for that track to dry out. Alright, so pretty much everyone out on softs. There are a couple of drivers on inters by the look of it, but I think they might be just finishing up their laps. No, Bottas is in the garage, Magnussen's in the garage. Max is on track. And he's on the flyer as well, so Max is on the wrong tyres. Those tyres are going to be falling apart. He goes fourth, but a lot of drivers actually on their flying lap right now. See Bottas just coming to a stop to let cars go through there. And you can see Max now 4.5 seconds off the pace. As are we. Right, I'm going to send my drivers out now. While we've got this little window of what's going to be a little bit of clear track. Because it's going to get messy towards the end of this session, I think. So let's get these guys out there now. where they can set a flying lap with where the majority of those cars in front of us are all going to peel off into the pits. So there we go, just one car in front of us at the moment, and that is Bottas, who is now on an in-lap. Lewis should be able to get round and get out in front of that Williams. Yes, he can. So no traffic for Lewis. Russell is only green in the first sector, same for Lewis. No flying lap, and we're now seeing heavy rain 3 minutes away. That's not on the schedule. So it might start raining right at the death. Just as well I didn't wait till the very end. I think Russell got held up a little bit there. Oh, Russell is in trouble.
We are P17.
I need clean air. I cannot do anything.
He got held up massively. And Russell is in real trouble now. I don't know if I've got enough time to get him back.
So that's a P3. So
I'm going to have to push him like crazy to get him back.
Pull the car.
Understood.
Slap on some more tyres and then hope that he can get out and start setting a lap before the rain comes, or else this is it for Russell. At least for the sprint anyway. He lost so much time to Bottas there. He lost about a second getting held up by Bottas. Absolute disaster. It's a very short lap, so if I can get him in, straight away and get him straight back out again, he might still have a chance to set a new lap. All right, we're going to take manual control of Russell again, just to speed up his outlap. But he might have traffic issues on this lap as well. Okay, there is no rain. So we haven't got to worry about rain, we've just got to worry about traffic.
Happy to start reducing that management.
Copy.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Copy.
Hopefully we've got enough battery for actually able to complete the lap at full push. Managed to fend off the Ferrari of Sainz, who now might be going out himself here. Was that Sainz or was that Leclerc? It was Sainz, so we might have just screwed up Sainz. We're sensing some sort of collusion. I'm sure Jim 3 Bobtas had nothing to do with it.
Okay, so we've taken
Right,
the
no
flag.
improvement in the first sector, that's okay. It's this middle slash final sector that's important. And McLaren dives out of the way. We're out of battery. There's an improvement in the middle. Evening Barra. So it won't be a great final sector without any battery on the start-finish run here, but it should still be a quick enough lap to get through. And it is. There we go. Up to 9th. So, crisis averted. Russell is through, but Sainz is last. We kind of screwed over Sainz there, getting Russell turned around as quick as we did. And he is out, along with Tsunoda. That's a surprise. Piastri, Ricciardo and Schumacher. Zhou made it through. Interesting. Right. Q2 back on the wet tyres. Yeah, we'll see what the weather looks like. We might go back out on the scrubs again. Let's have a look. Yeah, we need to go straight out. We'll send Russell out first. Everyone's piling out.
Focus on the brakes a bit.
Copy.
Let's just focus on the outlap.
Understood.
So this might be the lowest water level of the session. It may possibly get a little bit lower towards the end. Not sure. But as long as we can set a competitive time now, that's going to be probably enough.
It's all clear ahead.
And we've got pretty much clean track for both drivers. There is Zhou just between our two cars, but there's enough of a gap for Hamilton to not worry about catching Zhou. So Hamilton again with the edge in the first sector. Someone behind us is going quicker. Second split coming up. Lewis is purple in the middle. And still purple. Russell crosses the line with a 1:11.9. That's a good lap.
Currently P1.
Let's see, what can Hamilton do? He goes slightly quicker. And it's Ocon in second. So Ocon was the driver who went fastest in Sector 1. And in Sector 3.
Pull the car.
Yep.
Wow, interesting. Oh, and look at Stroll. Stroll's up there. And there's Max's new engine. Half a second quicker than Hamilton. It's going to take something very special for us to beat Max, I think, in this Grand Prix. If we had both cars running with the most up-to-date specs, then yeah, I think we'd be okay against Max despite his new engine. But with our cars in varying degrees of not quite as competitive as they could be, then I think that new engine's just going to put Max way over the top. So we'll reconfigure the tyres. As the water level goes up, it will come down again, but hopefully we don't need to go back out. And the water level is slightly higher than it was at the start of the session, so we're going to stay in the garage. I don't think we're going to suddenly have cars finding 0.6 of a second, you know, in the bottom half of the table here. In fact, everyone's peeling in, look. So I think that's it. Is anyone on a flying lap right now? No, that's it. Everyone's on an in lap. So we're going to lose Magnussen, Albon, Hulkenberg, Zhou and Gasly from the session. Bottas is in the top 10. Wow. I'm going to see some points for Alfa Romeo. Alright, final run. We're going to start on these tyres just to get a confidence boost, and then we'll do a lap on brand new tyres. Unless the weather's going to play silly buggers. Let's quickly check the weather. Oh, it's going to rain, so let's immediately put on brand new tyres. We haven't got time for 2 flying laps, so we're going to have to send them straight back out. This is a one-shot qualifying session for us here. Let's see, where is Lewis? He is behind. Is that Ocon in front of him?
Wake up those rear brakes.
Yes, it is. Okay. So that's a very quick car in front of Lewis, but far enough away to not potentially cause any issues. Whoever is behind, it's Alonso. Alonso is tucked up behind George. So Alonso could maybe get a nice little slipstream here and actually qualify George.
All clear ahead.
So George winds it up for his flying lap.
So we've got clear track now. Good to go.
let's keep an eye on Alonso's sector colours. George is going to be purple in every sector, unless someone goes faster behind him. So, Russell is faster than Alonso in sector 1, and is probably far enough ahead now to not worry about that. Leclerc goes purple in sector 1. Hamilton can't beat Leclerc. Now Verstappen goes sector fastest, so Max is a lock, I think, for pole here. Alonso is slower than Russell in the middle sector as well. And so is Leclerc. And so's Hamilton. But not Max. Max is flying. So Russell sets the benchmark
That's currently
with a 1:07.6. Alonso half a second slower. Leclerc up to third, 2.5 tenths off. Ocon in fourth. Hamilton goes second, a tenth off George.
So that's
And Max just says, I see your tenth, and I raise you half a second.
So just confirming boxing.
Wow, yeah, that is quick. And that's it. We do not have time to set another lap before the rain hits. So that's qualifying. Where's Perez going to end up? Perez coming out of Junção now. Onto the main straight, crossing the line. Perez goes second. Oh, so we're behind both Red Bulls. That's not ideal. So, yeah, I think we're looking at a Max Verstappen win. And that is probably better for George than it is for Lewis. You know, I mean, Russell has already got a 39-point lead. So if Max is winning the remaining races,
The rain is falling.
that drastically reduces Lewis's chances of catching him. I mean, if Russell had retires in the main race, for example, and gets 0 points from the main race, we're not counting the sprint here, just the main race. And, you know, Verstappen, with his brand new engine, wins and gets the fastest lap. That takes 8 potential points away from Lewis. The most he can get would be 18 for second. And George would get 26. Max would get 26 for winning in the fastest lap. So that still leaves George 21 points clear. You know, and that would mean Lewis would need another retirement from George to have any real chance of overhauling him. So I think Max throwing in a new engine has probably just confirmed Russell as champion. Because it's going to take available points away from Lewis in his chance to try and overhaul that. But there is your lineup for Sprint Quali. Stroll in 5th, Leclerc 6th, Alonso 7th, Ocon 8th, Norris in 9th, and Bottas in 10th. Those guys, I can see them dropping down the order once the rain disappears. Oh, I didn't say George doesn't deserve it. No, the way George has driven, he absolutely deserves it. But it does take the sting out of the end of the season. I think, you know, there was that possibility of a Lewis fight back, and now that has been reduced substantially with the fact that the win is going to be pretty much locked up for Max, I think, in the remaining 3 events. Well, who knows? Stranger things have happened, but if he has that kind of pace and keeps it clean and doesn't put it in the wall, you've got to say Max is probably a shoo-in to win the remaining races. Half a second quicker than us. That's a lot. That's a huge amount. Right, let's put the practice parts in for free practice 2. We did get George's car at 100%. I never actually checked to see what Lewis's setup was looking like. We'll do that in a second. We want to go 45 laps of fuel here. And we'll go with the hard tyres. Let's see, swapping out Lewis's parts. Oh, we got George's. We got Lewis's setup nailed as well. He is also at 100%. Excellent. So I can add that setup to the book too. Right. Run plan. And this will be a dry session, I think. Might be some light rain. Hopefully not. It's going to be light rain. Okay, so in that case, instead of going out on hard tyres, we're going to go out on softs. And we'll save that set of hards for the race. Let's see, we're going to have 15 minutes of dry running, and then the rain's going to start to fall. It's not going to be too bad. But we may well need to switch to inters.
Are all the tyres on? Something doesn't feel right.
Right, Lewis is faster, so let's get George to move out of the way. Just reduce the chance of them tripping over each other in a braking zone.
We've got a yellow flag here.
And there's the wet weather warning. Another yellow flag. Oh, and that's Hamilton. What's he done?
Now this happens down at turn 8.
They've become really inconsistent in this end of the season
to avoid
here.
crashing into the barrier. They do need to be careful in these practice sessions.
I got damaged. Sorry about that, guys.
Minor front wing damage. Okay, that's not ideal. I don't know if I've got a spare front wing for him. My knowledge of F1 transcends barriers, but you feel the sprint is overkill and not necessary. The sprint was added to try and add a little bit of extra excitement on Saturdays. You know, people might buy a 3-day pass, so they're there for Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and they get, you know, practice, which, you know, you get to see the cars, but there's nothing at stake. And there's 2 1-hour sessions on the Friday, and then you get a third 1-hour session on the Saturday morning, and then you get the qualifying, and then you get the race on the Sunday. But you know, obviously you get to see the support races as well, which may or may not include F2, but it definitely includes some, you know, touring car racing or some kind of classic car racing maybe as well, depending on the circuit. But yeah, sprints were introduced as a way to try and add a bit more excitement for Saturday viewing, for the fans in attendance, and obviously for the TV viewing as well. And a little bit of extra spice to the championship, maybe, potentially. As I say, Saturdays are now sprint self-contained, so now the current format in reality is Fridays. On a sprint weekend, you get practice 1 in the first session, and then the second session is then qualifying for the Grand Prix on the Sunday, and then on the Saturday you have sprint qualifying instead of practice 3, and then the sprint itself instead of main qualifying, which takes place Friday instead of practice 3. So yeah, it is what it is. Not sure how I feel about sprints. The majority of them haven't been that great. They've been kind of a bit of a procession with not much changing in the way of you know, driver movements up and down the grids, with a few exceptions. Brazil 21 being a huge example of what a sprint can do, with Lewis starting at the back of the grid in the sprint, fighting his way up to I think 10th in the sprint, and then no, I think he got up to 5th. No, it's a 5th in the sprint, and then, you know, carried that across into the main race and had that thrilling battle with Verstappen. So sprints have the opportunity to add a lot more excitement and drama. Unfortunately, more often than not they don't, but the potential is there. And I'm sure we'll see the sprint format being fine-tuned over the next few years. It's not going to go away, I don't think. I don't think it's going to get expanded. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see a fine-tuning of which circuits get the sprints. There'll be some experimenting to see which circuits really benefit from sprinting and which ones definitely do not bring any real benefit to a sprint. Yeah, we don't have any spare front wings. That's it. I'm going to have to emergency manufacture a new wing. And it's going to have to be a shitty wing as well, because we're locked into that spec of front wing for Parc Fermé rules. So I'm going to have to spend like over $1 million just to get one spare front wing for Lewis. So I might as well just go ahead and make 2. Alright, just put him on the insist.
Just give us some tyre feedback.
Yeah, I'm outside, I'm ready to go.
Hey, Phil.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Yes, I am muted. I was actually just starting to read your answer. As regards manufacturing new parts, the question: Can you cannot manufacture new parts after breaching the cost cap unless in this situation? You can, but you can only manufacture spare parts through emergency manufacture. You can't do regular manufacturing if you breach the cost cap. So I wasn't going to make any parts through emergency manufacturing just for the sake of having spare parts. It was always going to be a case of, if we absolutely have to, we will, but if we can avoid it, we'll just switch to an older spec. But because we've run sprint qualifying already, we're now locked into part fair rules, which means we cannot change the specification of the parts on the car for this race. So I can't, even though we're still now in practice, I can't go down to spec 1 front wing because Part Fairmate has locked us into the spec 2, which we no longer have any spares of. So when it comes to the race, well, when it comes to the sprint, we're not going to have a front wing on the car, which means we're going to be forced to emergency manufacture to make sure that we've got a part of that specification. You'll see a very obvious visual representation of that in just a moment. And this goes back to what I was saying, early in season 1. When you get to a sprint, make sure you've got spare parts, because if you go in with brand new front wings, but you've only got 2 and you've got 1 on each car, then you are going to be in a situation where you could potentially be paying through the nose for emergency parts. Same with chassis or suspensions, anything where you might just damage it. Maybe not destroy it, but damage it in a practice session by clipping a wall or something, or having a little meeting of the minds with another driver. Then, you're just going to leave yourself in a position where you have to emergency manufacture because you're locked into that spec.
Take the flag.
Well, a bit of a broken session there with the changing of tyres, but we managed to get up to mid-60s in terms of track knowledge. Car part knowledge is already there, car setup knowledge is already there, so we should still be pretty good on driver confidence going into the race. So we have got penalties for just the two drivers, Magnussen and Max. Let's have a look. Why is Kevin taking a penalty? New gearbox for Kevin this weekend. So we're at 90%. That's not bad. Both drivers will start in the very high confidence, which is good.
Well, the excitement levels continue to rise here as the teams prepare for the sprint. And after a season of sprints, this is the last one of the year. This circuit is certainly no stranger to overtakes, so I think we're in for a good one.
It's not only the starting grid decided here though. The top finishers in the sprint have the chance to score crucial championship points.
Well, no doubt there'll be plenty of action today here at the Sao Paulo Sprint.
Right, what's the weather going to be like for the sprint? It's going to rain very early on. So we're going to be looking at softs just for the first couple of laps, and then it's going to be inters. So we're going to be looking at boxing for inters maybe around about lap 10. Somewhere in that kind of region. So let's get both of our drivers onto the softs. Let's start by replacing George's car parts. There we go. We're going to go 24 laps of fuel. We're going to go very aggressive off the line. And here you can see missing a car part. And you can see it says adjustments limited. This means I cannot put on a different spec of wing. It has to be a Mark II. So even though I've got 7 Mark 1s, adjustments are limited. I cannot put one of those wings on. So I have to emergency manufacture one of these wings. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 2 of them. And it's going to cost me 1.8 million for 2 wings. But Lewis has been a little bit sloppy, shall we say, in his driving over the last couple of races, so I think it just behooves us to have a spare so that if he does prang one, we've actually got a replacement, and B, if he does prang one and we only made one, we'd have to emergency manufacture another one anyway for the main race. So yeah, we'll eat that there. That will push up our fine every month from now on as well, because we'll have breached the cost cap even further. We're going to go with the 94% gearbox. Hopefully Lewis doesn't total the car again. And again, we're going to go very aggressive off the line. Right, let's go for the sprint.
24 laps around Interlagos awaits these drivers in what should be an entertaining sprint.
The 100-kilometer dash around Sao Paulo is typically packed full of overtaking opportunities, making for a thrilling event as the season nears the end.
This is it, a dash to the finish line. 24 laps around Sao Paulo in today's sprint. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So Max is on pole, but he will have that penalty to apply to wherever he finishes the sprint for the main race. So assuming it's a 10th place penalty, if he wins, he'll be starting the main race in 11th. And interestingly, a mixture of tyres there. Soft is definitely the way to go with the rain that's coming. Oh, big shunt at turn 4. And we've got a safety car already. Someone went flying off the track there.
And here we've got a yellow flag. Now we're watching
Oh, it's
Esteban
Ocon.
tries to get by. Oh, that's quite an impact between them. Now their confidence will have taken a hit with that.
Oh, that's bad.
And just like that, the hopes of the team start to dwindle.
Right, fuel's not going to be an issue. We can push for the rest of the sprint. As far as the game is concerned, how does breaching the cost cap affect the following season? It doesn't. What it does do is, instead of inflicting aero penalties, you get a fine equal to how much you breached the cost cap by for every month that you are over the cost cap until the end of that year. So we've been getting fined 2.1 million a month for the last month and a half, 2 months. We're going to get an even bigger fine this month.
Perez is in.
Because we've breached the cost cap even further with that emergency manufacturing. You can see everyone's diving in for tyres. Are they going for inters already? If they are, they're going to burn them up. Or are they just going to switch to softs? Mediums for Albon. Everyone else is coming out on soft. Perez is now down in 10th. Verstappen's down to 7th. Leclerc had a problem with his pit stop, but still gets out in 8th place. Everyone else is coming out on soft. So all those drivers who started on mediums and mediums and hards have switched to softs. And Albon, who I think started on soft, has switched to mediums. Only we have stayed out, along with Zhou, Piastri and Sainz. Everyone else has been into the box, and obviously we've lost Alonso and Ocon. Alonso will have a penalty, a 3-place drop for that collision applied to the main race, so he's going to be starting last. And I may possibly, depending on how quickly that rain starts to hit, I may dive in before the safety car comes in to go on to Inters. No, questions are absolutely fine, Farah. Yeah, I've always said I'm more than happy to help people understand the game and F1 in general. As the rain is starting.
The rain is falling.
Copy.
And it's going to be into crossover point around about lap 7.5, 7. So yeah, I'm going to box early. I'm not going to box straight away. It's still a lap too early. I'm going to wait and see if the safety car comes in this lap. If it does, we're just going to push like crazy. If it stays out another lap, we're going to box next lap. I just don't actually know. Let's just not take the risk. Let's just box now while we can.
Box.
Just got to hope that the safety car stays out for at least one more lap. I can cancel these stops if I need to. Safety car peels in this lap.
Okay, so box.
Then we will cancel those stops.
Box for Inter.
But this means that we'll be able to get those tyres on and rejoin at the back of the grid before the safety car boxes. And the safety car is staying out. Still a little bit too dry for these Inters, so they're going to overheat. Rain is falling. Another couple of laps and they'll be at the right window. And everyone in front of us will have to peel in for those inters, and we'll be already on those tyres, and we'll go straight back into the lead. Okay, quick stop for Russell, slightly slower stop for Lewis. That doesn't really matter. There's no DHL award for the sprint. We're going to rejoin at the back of the grid, but everyone is going to get maybe 1, maybe 2 laps. Before the tyre situation crosses over and we're on the right tyre and they're on the wrong tyre. See if anyone else does what we've done. Is the safety car going to come in this lap? We need that water level to be at least 0.6 for our inters to start working properly. It's not far off. It's not far off. Tactical masterstroke here. Look how hot the tyres are, even going slow behind the safety car. And we're getting another lap. Oh, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. We're almost at the right amount of water to keep the inters viable. 0.6 is the absolute minimum, and ideally you want it to be about 0.7, 0.8. And then you're at that kind of pace crossover, but at least at this amount of water, the tyres shouldn't overheat quite so quickly. And the soft tyres will start to get a little bit squiffy. And it's only going to get wetter. Expect to see everybody flood into the pits at the end of this lap. Which means we're going to see absolute chaos in the pit lane again. Zhou's leading the Grand Prix. I've just realised it's Zhou up front with Piastri in second. Wow. Right, we want the safety car to come in now. We want it in this lap. Please come in this lap. Because then we can go full racing speed while everyone else is boxing. If it stays out another lap, then they'll be able to reform behind us, which we don't want. Yes! 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 It's coming in.
Safety car is in.
Beautiful! Beautiful! Not going to push the tyres. Want to get them cool as quick as possible. Everyone's going to dive into the box here.
So leader has control.
Oh, they're staying out. Okay. Next lap then. They're going to box next lap. And that's even better, because they're going to have to approach the pits at full racing speed, which means we'll open up an even bigger gap. Tyres are still way too hot, but they should start to come down in temperature now. This is very much into territory now. And they're still staying out. Oh, wow.
DRS has been
Oh, no,
enabled.
someone's in the pits. Verstappen has boxed. He's the only one who's made the right call.
Push and hold it, overtake.
Copy.
So Max is going to avoid the carnage that's going to appear in the pit lane next lap. Can't believe no one else has boxed yet. So we've got a 12.5-second lead over Max. That's going to come down very quickly because we're stuck in traffic at the moment.
Just show me what you've got then.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Yep.
And here we go. 2 more cars into the pit. Only 2 more. Right, so we should start to get some good confidence boosting overtakes going on here now. Let's pull up the confidence bars. And we're also going to start getting drivers to go into clean air.
So call the car.
Get them going offline
PU calling.
to try and make those moves a little bit easier for them. Tire temps are still a little high, but they are coming down. Oh, and that is a mistake in the background there from Sonoda.
Let's
Big
see what
lockup.
happened there.
I wasn't sure for a
Heading
second. I
on
thought
to
Lewis had
Junção.
you know, just harpooned in there, torpedoed in.
Well, you can see the lockup, and hopefully...
So we're low on battery at the moment.
There we go. George gets the move done. More cars diving into the box. Up to 10th and 12th. Oh, an issue for Albon at the pits.
So just charge that pack.
Yep.
Tire temps are still too high. We're just burning these tyres up. Driving in clean air is not helping. Let's just hope that they can get slipstream overtakes done using DRS. He's still active. Leclerc in the box now. I'm amazed the number of cars that have stayed out. As much as we're kind of suffering a little bit at the moment, we did make the right decision
Just reduce
to
your
box
speed.
when we did.
Copy.
Every car in front of us is still going to have to box, and we are still just over, well, just under 8 seconds ahead of Verstappen. So it was definitely the right call. I'm amazed how long these guys have stayed out and how hard we are struggling to make our way through. still they're staying out. So Russell now up to 8th. Hamilton's still stuck behind Ricciardo. Surely he's going to get him here. No! What is going on with Lewis? Big rain coming in a few laps. George is in absolute peak confidence now. Can't get any more confident than he is. Should get an easy DRS overtake as Stroll boxes now. One less car we have to fight our way past. Hamilton desperately needs to get this overtake done.
And we'll push.
Understood.
Come on, make the move. What is going on here?
Call the car.
How is Lewis still stuck behind Ricciardo? Stroll is all over the back of us, and his tyres are going to be in better shape than ours. Gasly boxes now. Oh, there we go. Finally gets the move done. About bloody time.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
We might have just given up DRS in the process. Please don't come back straight at us.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Alright. Holding him off. Russell's up to 5th. And now Hamilton up to 8th. Magnussen is miles ahead of Perez. And you can see Hamilton spent so much time stuck behind Ricciardo, but he nearly didn't nearly got passed by
So instant is exit turn 5.
Stroll and Gasly, who only just boxed. Oh man, look at this! That's crazy. That's Max. So we're not the only ones struggling.
The crew in the garage could do nothing.
Doesn't look like anyone got a penalty for it. Is Hamilton now stuck behind Bottas? That's Magnussen into the box. Now it's George who's struggling to get the move done. Come on, this is full-on wet weather, into territory now. This is the last chance of DRS. It's about to get turned off. What is going on? On the right tyre, full push on the fuel. Just not able to get these moves done. And because he's stuck in dirty air, his tyres are just constantly overheating. Tsunoda boxes finally, and that's an overheating tyre for him. Sorry, an issue for him. See, look, we've got Gasly and Stroll all over the back of us here. We're at risk of Lewis getting caught out big time here. Need Bottas out of the way.
P3.
I know tyres are on low deliberately because I'm trying to stop them from melting. We've still got another 10 laps to go. Absolutely crazy. Come on, get the move done on Bottas. You've got Gasly boxed in. Russell's tyre temps are finally coming down. Come on, Lewis, get this move done. I know you're on an old spec part, but
Pick up the pace.
this is getting ridiculous. So Gasly's through. We're finally going to get the move done on Bottas. The damage has been done.
Head down now. So the stops are starting to happen now.
Russell gets past Hülkenberg and gets past Perez to take the lead. Perez is still yet to stop. Hülkenberg yet to stop. Norris and Schumacher also yet to stop. But there's a difference in tyres, look, 20%. George's temperature's now finally under control. Hamilton's still a living nightmare.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Let's see if we can capitalise on this
Use the overtake
with a bit of clean air.
Make sure you stay on top of the vehicle.
They're all queuing up behind us.
Just do the best you can.
Look at this, this is insane! 6 cars in formation flying. Oh, god damn it, I knew something was going to happen. And why is Hamilton getting the penalty? That was Gasly bouncing off the curb into us.
Now it looks to be Lewis Hamilton involved in that. Now look, here we head into turn 2. Cutting it so close. And oh, that's obviously far from intentional, but there was contact.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a stat degradation from Lewis. And that's front wing damage. God damn it, Lewis. How bad is it? Very. It's down to 13th. Yeah, Lewis's championship challenge is gone. We're going to keep him out
Getting the pack back up.
because there's still cars that have yet to box.
And just charge the pack.
Going to lose a lot of downforce. Russell is now 13.5 seconds clear of Perez, who still hasn't stopped. I don't think these guys are going to stop. There's still a chance of Lewis to actually get some, get himself into the points here. He's ahead of Gasly, who we had the coming together with. And they're all just queuing up, trying to find a way through. Look. Just got to go for it with Lewis and see what happens.
Pick up the pace. Just charge that pack.
Sainz now up to second. Stroll in third. Sainz has really benefited. He started this race last. He's second.
Lewis, we're still in this race.
Okay, there goes Schumacher into the box finally. We're boxed in by Leclerc. I would retire Lewis, but this is going to set his position for the sprint.
Got every chance here.
So we kind of have to keep him out. This is just chaos. Confidence is at absolutely rock bottom here. May as well just go full balls to the wall.
Let's go for it.
Oh, collision in front of us.
We've had a big crash here. Debris turn 4.
This is inevitable when you have cars just scrapping so close like this. Two comings together between Albon and Magnussen there.
And clearly then, not what everyone in the garage would have wanted to see.
We've got a 5-second penalty to add on at the end of this race. Right, we get clear of Norris. Finally get past Norris, still on slicks. Perez and Hulkenberg are still yet to stop as well. We've got every chance of catching them, you know. As stupid as it seems. 10th place, 5 seconds to be added on. It's taken weather changes, but the sprint has been superb, despite what you said earlier. Yeah, like I said, Brazil always seems to throw up a good sprint. But most of the other sprints are generally quite boring. Oh, Norris has dropped all the way back to 18th already. Just everyone's just gone. The floodgates have opened and we've all passed him. In fact, Russell is coming up to lap us. Or is Norris box? No, Norris is box. I was going to say, how's he so far behind?
Anything could happen, Lewis. Let's just keep our heads down.
His tyres are almost completely gone. That's Perez just in front of us. There he is. Alright, need to get up the inside of Magnussen here. Got no battery left. Ah.
Sweat it, Lewis.
And Russell wins. That's how far ahead Russell is.
Russell wins it! First over the line.
Alright, come on Lewis, get this move done. Oh wow, look at that. Look at Bottas. Nowhere more carnage going on behind us. Everyone's twitching all over the place. Moves back up into 10th. Can he get a run on Perez? Needs to get past Perez. Needs to pull as much time as possible here. He's going to drop to 18th place here. He's going to lose positions to all of those cars behind, apart from Norris.
So that's P10. Sorry about that, mate.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say, guys. Apologies.
And that's a well-deserved sprint.
And that's the championship for
George Russell.
That puts him
What a well-deserved P1 finish that was.
47
Absolutely
points ahead.
outstanding.
with 78 available in total. Right, utter chaos in the sprint. George takes the win. Carlos Sainz gained 18 places to finish in second. Stroll gained 2 places. Max dropped 3 places and has a penalty to apply in the main race, so he's probably going to start down in 14th place. Oscar Piastri gains 13 places, big points for him. Charles Leclerc stayed in 6th. Zhou Guanyu gets 7th. Bottas gets 8th. Alfa Romeo scored 3 points. Perez drops 7 places. Hulkenberg gets up to 10th. Ricciardo 11th. Gasly up to 12th. Albon 13th. Schumacher 14th. Tsunoda 15th. Hamilton down to 16th because of his 5-second penalty. But he does finish ahead of Magnussen, who also has another penalty to apply going into the race for his new gearbox. So he's going to start from the back of the grid. And then Norris in 18th. Alonso and Ocon also failed to finish the race. Alonso also has that penalty, a 3-place penalty for the collision with Ocon. So he will start on the back row alongside Magnussen. Oh, this is going to be a bit bonkers. I need to go grab a drink before we go any further.
Race day has arrived, and the time has almost come for these drivers to fight it out, wheel to wheel.
Brazil loves a home racer, and none more so than the brilliant Ayrton Senna. His victory here at Interlagos in 1991, fighting a broken gearbox, is one of the most emotional moments in F1 history. And the sun is shining bright here today. This is perfect weather for teams and drivers alike to show us what they're capable of.
And when it comes down to it, there's simply no telling what will happen here in the ups and downs of Sao Paulo.
Right. Let's see. Ah, dear. It says light rain is predicted. It was supposed to have a dry race, so maybe it won't be enough. Yeah, it's showing us dry. If we do get any rain, it probably won't be enough to facilitate a switch or necessitate a switch to inters. Okay, that's one option there. That strategy just isn't going to work. So let's look at this as a strategy. That's 5 seconds slower. Okay, so that is easily going to be the best strategy. So we've got hard tyres in reserve if we get a very early safety car. That's the strategy we're going with George. Lewis is going to have to go really aggressive at the start. Just as well I emergency manufactured 2 of those front wings, isn't it? There we go. Right. Going to have to be very, as I say, very aggressive with Lewis. We're going to start him on the softs and then go medium. So that he can cut through the field a little bit easier. Down in 15th place. Going to take 2 laps of fuel out for George. Going to push start, Lewis is going to take 3 laps of fuel out and is going to go very aggressive off the start. And let's go to the grid.
We're not too far away from the race start here as we edge closer to the 71 laps of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And here's George Russell, focusing on the race ahead of him.
They start in P1, but will they be able to stay there? The first corner could be so crucial.
This should certainly be a good one, folks. Who will win? Only time will tell, here at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
Right, solid start from George. He's going to lead into the first corner. Going to throw Lewis into a very potentially risky strategy of very aggressive overtaking. Alonso has had a shunt and has picked up another penalty already.
Now. And if we watch Magnussen, dangerously close to each other. Oh, and the cars there, unable to keep out of each other's way. And they'll have to pick themselves up after that.
So, is that damage? Yeah, that's a little bit of damage to Alonso's front wing.
And look at the team there. They all knew
His
what that moment meant.
Front wing end plate has taken a little bit of damage.
Just show me what you've got then. Just need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Yep.
Just going to hold off for the first couple of laps with Lewis, and then we're just going to go, flat out crazy with the overtakes, hopefully. Max is down in last place. So Max must have had more than one penalty part put on there. He's dropped all the way to 20th. Sainz gets past George. Expected. We're not battering just yet. We will be in a moment. Who would have thought that would have been your top 4 there? Hell, even your top 5 if you count Piastri's. Top 6, top 7. Look at that top 7.
Push and hold, overtake.
Yeah, copy.
Alright, so DRS will kick in at the start of this lap.
DRS enabled.
And this is George's chance to sprint clear.
P3. Ahead of you, you've got Stroll. Third car behind Leclerc. Just pushing.
Okay, so Stroll's on softs. Magnussen and Hamilton, the only other 2 drivers on softs. Everyone else on mediums. Lewis gets past Tsunoda. Fastest lap for George as Stroll goes around the outside of Stroll. Stroll goes around the outside of Sainz. Sainz will get the DRS. George is going to try and take the pair of them here. Has to back out of it. Think about calming these tyres down. George is putting out the battery, so we're going to go into top up. We're going to drop his tyre pace right down as he gets the move done on Stroll. That'll give him a clean run on Sainz into turn 1.
Good job. That's currently P2.
Lewis has got past Schumacher. He's up to 13th now.
Low on battery at the moment.
And again, we're going to do the same with Lewis. We're going to drop his tyre pace and put his battery into top up. Hamilton side by side with Albon. Gets the DRS, and that is Hamilton up to 12th place. And into peak confidence now. Let's start saving some fuel with George as well now. We'll keep pushing Lewis a little bit longer. He's going to have to do a lot of fuel saving in the later stages of the race compared to George. He needs to make moves while he's got the grippier tyre.
Don't think about getting the pack back up.
As we ride the hand cam. Not overly concerned about George not getting past Sainz at the moment. So we're looking after his tyres, we're saving some fuel, gradually charging that battery back up. If he gets into the lead, fantastic. If he doesn't, he's still got the DRS. There is the back of Sainz. George is going to have a look into turn 4. Still side by side, but it does complete the move.
Nice work.
So let's uplift and coast all round, Lewis.
See, even on this lower pace setting, Hamilton's tyres are still overheating. As he gets the move done up the inside of Gasly. He will come back at him. We're going to go straight back into deploy now. Just to complete that move. Might even get a run on Magnussen here as well. No, Hulkenberg, sorry. Russell gets overtaken again. Not concerned by that right now. Hamilton's tyres finally back under control in terms of temperature.
Nice one.
Russell retakes the lead again. And you can see how close the field is, and this is because we've got cars out of position. In particular, Joe, Piastri and Bottas. Although Ricciardo, you could argue, is way out of position as well. Created this breakaway group of 4 cars at the front. The 2 Ferraris, Stroll and Russell. And then Perez, having broken away now from, being stuck in 8th place, is now looking to hunt those guys down. Joe hanging on to the back of him just. Piastri has been dropped in a fight with Bottas. And we're not far behind that. There is Bottas and Joe. Sorry, Bottas and Piastri. And just see Joe disappearing into turn 1. A little bit further ahead. But these cars that are out of position are just creating choke points. And you can see cars queuing up behind.
And just charge the pack.
Understood.
And next question.
Give Lewis a little bit more pace, see if he can get those moves done. And immediately he dives up the inside of Hulkenberg. And now he's going to have DRS in a clean run onto the back of Ricciardo. As Hulkenberg actually looks like he's pushed a little bit coming out that corner. Or maybe we just ran out of battery. Might be both. So let's put Lewis back into harvest mode again.
So just charge that pack.
Try and build that battery back up a bit, so that we can not only make the move, but then pull away
300 meters
and start hunting down after Bottas and Piastri. And Hulkenberg is through, so that will probably make it easier for us to make a move on Ricciardo. Actually, Hulkenberg yet to actually complete that move. He should be in a position to complete the move now. If he can stay side by side here. No, he's actually dropped back behind again. Russell still swapping back and forth with Sainz for the lead. But his fuel savings coming along nicely. We are extending the life of the tyres, which gives him more options.
This is good.
And think about the shifting coast.
Understood.
And there we go. Lewis does now get Hulkenberg. Saw he was making the move to go around the outside at turn 4 under braking, so that's why he increased his fuel push to shorten the brake distance a little bit, and gave him some battery deployment to the edge of the corner. And now we should have a nice clean run past Ricciardo at the end of the lap, start of the new one, into turn 1. Going to go to the inside. Gets the move done. Ricciardo's going to have the DRS. Hamilton should have enough pace to hold him back. Keeps the inside line, and there we go. Move is done.
So let's uplift the coast all round.
Ricciardo's not giving up yet.
Push.
So I'm trying to make sure that Ricciardo gets the DRS. Sorry, gives us the DRS there. I think we crossed the line behind him. Yes, we did. So we got the DRS.
Sugar.
Sugar. Every time I hear that, I just can't help but think of Age of Ultron. The beginning of Age of Ultron, where Captain America's like, language. Right. Joe has now dropped Piastri, so we've got a couple of quick succession overtakes coming up here. Ricciardo has got himself into DRS range. Piastri is definitely dropping back. We're going to go full deployment on the battery in a minute.
Use the overtake.
I'm going to push the tyres a little bit as well. We want to get this move done and break away now.
Pick up the pace.
Start hunting after Joe. Go. Lewis through on Ricciardo, should immediately get the move done on Piastri as well.
Come on, really?
And there we go, Lewis is through. We're going to keep pushing. Make sure that we can break away from Oscar. And we've taken the second out of Joe already and gained a second over Piastri. So let's go into top up. Let's calm the tyres down.
Battery at the moment.
Let's go back into fuel save as well. And that's the new fastest lap for Lewis, a 1:10.8.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off the cliff on that time.
Right, how is George doing? George is doing quite nicely here. Let's take a look at tyres. So 70% for George. That is considerably better than Sainz and better than pretty much everyone else on the grid, I believe. Yeah, best tyres on the grid right now. So this is really working nicely for George. It's opening up options for him for the remainder of the race. His fuel saving is almost done. His battery's not far off being fully charged. Lewis's softs are pretty decent, considering we pushed them really hard and overheated them for a while. And he just, I think, got DRS off the back of Joe there. Pretty close. No, he didn't quite get it. He will get it on the next straight. It's just 11.5 seconds off the back of Russell now. That's pretty good. Verstappen's still down in 10th place, although he has just worked his way past Ricciardo up to 9th. So Verstappen's not going to be a threat for a while yet. About, what, 14 seconds off the back of George in sight at the moment. But he's going to be all over the back of Lewis in a few laps. I'm going to try and stretch these tyres, I think, for Lewis. Actually, no. Let's go flat out on these tyres. Get some battery and then just go full aggression. Get an undercut and see if we can then look after his mediums to give him the option of maybe going for a set of softs, or at least being more aggressive with his second set of mediums.
Nice job.
So we'll up the tyre pace.
Pick up the pace.
Oh, could I get a move on both of the Alphas here? And we've got Joe. We are definitely ahead of the curve on the tyre wear for Lewis. Not by much, but enough. And there is Max storming up onto the back of Joe. I think we can probably stop fuel saving with George now. In fact, we're going to have a sprint lap with George. See if we can break away from Sainz and Stroll. Hell, we'll give him a little bit more fuel burn as well.
Okay, let's see what you got then.
Sure that Bottas and Joe both get DRS to make it harder for Verstappen to get through. Now we'll go into top up for Lewis.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
As Verstappen does get Joe, that was kind of expected. So Russell breaking clear at the front here. As Hamilton gets past Bottas and is now just 5.5 seconds off of Perez. Stroll is the meat in a Ferrari sandwich at the moment. Rebuild that battery. Let's ease off the fuel save, and again we'll start looking after the tyres as well. And Stroll boxes. So Stroll on those soft tyres has decided enough is enough. He wants off those tyres.
If we could just drop back a bit.
Medium tyres for Stroll. So let's see, where does he come out? So he's about 3 seconds away from Russell. Let's see how far behind he is when he comes out. And this will give us a good indication as to how long we'll lose on a pit stop. just about 20 seconds. Max all over the back of Lewis. What team are we going to next? Don't know yet, and it's not my choice. It'll be down to the community. Just throwing up a poll. Right, we're going to box Lewis this lap.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do.
Anything could happen. So we'll box at the end of this lap.
Russell is now 3.5 seconds clear of sight as he battles with his teammate. We've done really well to get Hamilton up as high as he has. And not that far off. 15 seconds off the back of George. Now we just need a clean pit stop.
Copy.
And Bottas and Ocon boxing behind us as well.
Push now.
.1 seconds. It's not amazingly fast, but it's good enough.
So should be all clear on exit.
And Ocon jumps Bottas. So we're going to come out in 17th place. Effectively, we're running last. But now we're going to have much fresher tyres than everybody in front of us.
It's not going to be long now, mate. Yeah, we just want to grow this.
Right, let's look to stretch this lead with George. We'll just burn up what's left of these tyres, box him on the scheduled window, and then we don't have to push the mediums on the second stint at all. Maybe even do a bit more tyre saving in that stint. They're 5 seconds off the back of Norris with Lewis. 5 seconds ahead of sight with Russell. So, assuming the race finishes like this, there you'll see George will pick up 26 points. That will put him 80 points clear with just 52 available. So, yeah, if the race finishes with Russell in first, he's pretty much won the championship. Hamilton is out of the points. He can obviously pull some of those points back and make it mathematically possible. to still be in the title hunt, but he's going to have to finish very high up. It's looking very, very good for George. He could well be crowned world champion here at Sao Paulo. And we're starting to see some movement behind us. Sainz and Perez both into the box. Lewis is now in a position
Use the overtake
to start gaining places again. So get his confidence back up to peak again for the second stint. Straight around the outside of Norris there. Oh, it's crowded up front, look at that. And that is the optimal pit window for George. So let's go ahead and confirm that stop.
Now we'll box.
Yeah, stop.
8.5 seconds clear of Leclerc now. It's going to be a championship winning drive if he can win this race. Max has got himself into a position where he can start to hunt down George. You know how quick that Red Bull is at the moment with that brand new engine. As Lewis gets alongside Alonso, who is still yet to stop. He still has that penalty from lap 1 that he has to serve. It will be added onto his pit stop. Oh! Big collision in front.
turn 4.
I thought Lewis had actually caused that for a second then.
Maybe debris.
The camera angle was not kind. And there you see it's Piastri and Schumacher having a coming together there. So that's Hamilton up to 9th place. Just yellow flags. Both cars still in the race. It's a good stop from George there, 1.9 seconds, as Hamilton has passed Hulkenberg now and is just absolutely flying right now.
So we are low on battery at the moment. I just don't think about getting the pack back up.
New fastest lap for Carlos Sainz, a 109.8.
The stops are starting to happen now.
Hamilton is 6.5 seconds off the back of Perez. And up into 6th place. Let's get those tyres up to temp for George. He is 8.5 seconds behind Leclerc, who's still to stop. 3.5 seconds clear of Stroll, so looking good. Looking very good for George at the moment. There we go, tyres up to temp.
Just reduce your speed.
And Leclerc does now box. He's going soft. It's a quick stop as well. It's a very quick stop. He's going to get out in front of Lewis. And that's not surprising. And not by that much either. Max back in range of Lewis again. There he is. And did he go soft as well? He did. And he's on a flyer. Purple in the first sector. So, George just outside of peak confidence at the moment. Lewis very much in peak confidence at the moment, although he's going to lose a little bit of confidence when he gets passed by Max, which is inevitable, given the pace of that car and the compound of tyre difference as well. And there we go, that drops Lewis out of peak confidence now. But he'll stay with Max. And the yellow flag, that is coming together at turn 1. That is Ricciardo and Joe having a coming together. Well, this is shaping up to be the most dramatic race weekend we've had in a very long time.
Their hopes crumble away.
All sorts of incidents up and down the field. And Ricciardo will get himself a 5-second penalty for that.
And we can drop the lifting coast for now and pick it up later.
Lewis is just about hung on to the DRS there. Ocon is behind and on a charge as well. Probably have to do a little bit more fuel saving with both of our drivers towards the end of the race, but okay for now. And I'm going to put Hamilton into a lower pace of tyre because I want to see.
Make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Yep.
If we can maybe stretch him for another set of softs.
And just charge the pack.
Understood.
Let's take a look at George for a bit.
Yeah, don't say
currently 3.4 seconds clear of Stroll. Keeping it neat, nice and neat and tidy. It's got almost a full battery, so let's have a little splurge of
Push
power.
forward, overtake.
Yeah.
We're going to just do a little bit of tyre saving and fuel
If we can just
saving
drop
while we're
one
using
bit.
the battery.
Copy.
so. Just charge that pack.
Understood.
And let's push. Okay.
Need to make sure Lewis doesn't get dropped by Ocon. As Leclerc sets a flying lap of 109.7. And even with these lower settings that are on for George, you can see he's extending his gap over Stroll, thanks to the battery deployment. Another yellow flag. Not sure where that is. It's Hulkenberg.
Now we can see what happened. And wide they go,
running very
leaving
wide.
the racing line. And they'll
Trying to
find
turn his car
themselves at a
into a lawnmower there.
disadvantage if they keep on doing that.
Charge the pack.
Yep.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up. Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Right, let's have a look at tyre wear. Well, George's tyres, again, very, very good. Stroll's really been pushing those tyres. Really been pushing those tyres. Although he did box first. He was the first of the front runners to box because he started on softs. We've got about a 10% wear rate advantage over Sainz and Perez. Excellent stuff. I think we can take George out of saving now.
So head down now.
See, how far off is Max? Max is under 14 seconds to Stroll, to Russell. Cast an eye over Sainz and Stroll, battling for second place. There's Perez, a couple of seconds further back, and there's Leclerc, and there's Max. There's a nice healthy 6-second lead for George at the front here.
And think about less lift and coast.
Do you know, we're okay to just do a little bit more fuel saving with Lewis. Still in
We just
DRS
need
range.
to introduce a little bit of lift and coast. So 50 metres at the most.
And that is a full battery for Lewis. Excellent stuff.
Start the charge.
Right, how are Lewis's tyres looking against Ocon? Better. Looking very good. And again, considering Lewis boxed before Ocon did on those soft tyres, he's kept his mediums in very good shape here. I think we could probably break away from them here. Make sure we are at 100% going into the final turn.
The pack back up.
Understood.
Right, and we're going to go for it with Lewis.
Use the overtake.
Gets the DRS. We've got the battery deployment. We've got tyres. Can we hang on to it around the outside? Yes, we can, and we'll get the move done. Beautiful stuff. Right, next up is to lap Piastri. And Russell is pulling away from Sainz. He's now up to 7.5 seconds clear. We should be able to break away from Ocon here. That is the 1 second. There is the DRS detection line, and yeah, 1.1 seconds clear across the line. So no DRS for Ocon. We're going to drain this battery, try and really stretch that gap out. And then we'll calm those tyres down a little bit more. And start charging up on top up again. Lewis still has an outside chance of getting a podium here today. I'll try like hell to make that happen, just to keep the championship alive as much as we can going into the last couple of weekends. But if it isn't settled here today, it will almost certainly be settled in Vegas, I think.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Alright, there we go. About 1.8 seconds clear of Ocon, who I think might have possibly tried to push in response, given he was quicker than Russell by about half a second. And he is closing that gap back up again, so he's still on a push. He's trying to get back into touch with Lewis, but his tyres are in worse shape. They're under 60% now, so they will be starting to suffer a little bit. We have closed the gap to Max a bit as well. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Hulkenberg. Is that Hulkenberg having a crash?
Had a big crash here. Debris everywhere.
Right then, you can take a look now. So here we go, heading into turn 1. Pushing a bit too hard at this point. And there, the cars make contact. And I don't think there's a lot of doubt as to which car came off worse there.
Yeah, Norris came off a lot worse, but Hulkenberg just straight off. But that's a penalty for Hulkenberg. So, 5 seconds to be added onto his next pit stop. Let's cut to this fight here. This is starting to get very, very tasty. Sainz, Stroll, Perez and Leclerc all in close proximity to each other. We're going to ride on board with Charles Leclerc. We are 8 seconds behind this fight. Max just 3.5 seconds back. Sainz just stretching away from Stroll. Did Stroll lose the DRS? I think he did. Could see Perez make the move here. I don't know, maybe Stroll just about kept it. Another yellow flag, and that is a Williams running wide. That is Albon. And he loses 3 places there.
Here's the replay. Now Alex Albon is part of this. Nothing at this point. And the car fails to respond. But that's just the risk you take. The later you leave it.
Max is getting closer. So's Lewis, he's taking about half a second out of them as well. Max is absolutely flying onto the back of them now. Look at that. He was 1.5 seconds faster than Leclerc on that last lap. And us, for that matter. Leclerc might be in trouble. He just got the DRS. But now we have a 5-car fight. For second place. And we are 9.5 seconds clear of this fight now with George.
Push and hold, overtake.
Let's stretch that gap while they're tripping over each other. Got a move from Stroll. He's going to try and go up the inside of Sainz. Can't quite make it stick. It's going to have another go into turn 4. And he gets side by side. Perez is right there as well. We still have 27 more laps of this race to go. Lewis is starting to drop off the back. He's into the optimal strategy window for mediums. I'm going to try and stretch him for the softs. And this is all just helping George with these guys scrapping away like this, because Max is the fastest of all 5 of these guys. He's stuck at the back in a DRS train, can't make the move on Leclerc because Leclerc has the DRS to Perez, who can't get past Stroll, who keeps swapping places with Sainz and holding everybody up. Oh, and there goes Stroll into the box. Stroll the first to blink. So, is this for mediums? It is. Oh, there's a bad stop. Oh, that's cost him multiple seconds. How far back is he? Okay, that cost him about 4 seconds, that delay. And Perez has capitalised. He has broken through into second place. We missed that, keeping an eye on what was going on with Stroll. And Perez capitalising on the fact that Sainz no longer had, any kind of protection and just went straight past him with DRS, I'm going to guess, on the run to turn 4. We're not going to push George's tyres yet. Keep him going at this kind of pace. We're going to also try and stretch his window by an extra couple of laps, just to give him a little bit more life in those softs to respond if he needs to, and to try and get the fastest lap as well. Sainz is now vulnerable to Leclerc. Perez has got enough pace to break away here. He has the better tyres. Leclerc gets up the inside, but that's going to give Sainz the DRS. So the Ferrari's going to go side by side into turn 1. Oh no, Leclerc dives into the pits to get off those soft tyres. Is this also for mediums? He ran mediums on the first stint, so he had the option of either mediums or soft. He has gone mediums. That's a quick stop. He's going to get out ahead of Stroll. So that's worked out quite nicely. Despite the undercut, Stroll, having had that 4-second delay on his stop, is now behind Charles Leclerc. And Max has jumped Sainz. Again, we watch what's going on with the pit stop. We missed the overtake. Max is past Sainz, has already dropped him, and is going to have a run at the back of his teammate here. Although his tyres are going as well. This might be Max into the box this lap. No, he's staying out. Okay, so Max is gambling a little bit here because he's going into puncture territory.
Losing ground.
Yeah, don't sweat it, Lewis.
So head down now.
Boxing a lap or two. Sainz is now 3 seconds off the back of the Red Bulls. That's how much pace difference there is between the Ferrari and the Red Bull right now. Fantastic shot of Verstappen having a look around the outside there. Now he's going to try and get the inside at turn 4.
Box, 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 box.
So this lap.
He gets the move done. We're now getting into the territory that other teams that have the box will probably go softs. If they have new softs available. If they don't, they might go mediums. I think Max is going to box now. His tyres at 21%. Wow, they fell off a lap.
Let's just keep our heads down.
He's staying... No, he is in. I thought he was staying out for a second then. And that's Sainz coming in behind. And it is soft tyres for Max.
Stops and starts.
He gets held a little bit for the Ferrari. Also going for soft tyres. Ocon is in, and so are we. We can jump Ocon here. Decent stop, 2.2 seconds. It's not our fastest, but we do jump Ocon.
So it should be all clear on exit.
Who has also gone for softs. So it's going to be a fast sprint for the end of the lap. And now we're going to call George in. I'll put him onto some softs as well.
Box, end of this lap. Change tyres.
Copy, box.
Right, I'm not going to push the tyres. Don't want to risk overheating them and burning them out too quickly. They have got to last us. Of course, I want to do a flying lap. Not a great stop for Russell, 2.2 seconds. Our pit crew has become a little sluggish this weekend. Gone are the 1.8 second stops and the 1.9 second stops. Perez leads, but does need to stop. Leclerc went for mediums, as did Stroll. They are 11 seconds back. We're on soft tyres now. They're not going to be a threat. I think Max is maybe a little bit too far back. He's still got to get his way past Stroll and Leclerc to have a crack at George. Lewis has Ocon all over the back of him here. Tyres are now up to temperature. Let's just make sure that battery's full. We're going to sprint Lewis at the end of this lap.
Yep.
Put some battery into George as well so he can have a sprint lap. Perez boxes. That's going to be for soft tyres.
Use the overtake.
Understood.
Right, where's Perez going to come out? Is he going to get out ahead of Sainz? It's going to be close. There is Sainz just behind the score, the timing sheet. There he is. It's going to be very close. He's got him, but he's got to get his tyres up to 10. Sainz has got a chance. Hamilton gets past Ocon. He's 8 seconds behind Sainz and Perez. I think the podium's probably a bit too far off. You never know. Right, we'll push George on the next lap. Verstappen is through, 9.5 seconds behind and closing quickly. I'm going to say we will sprint George on the next lap. Lewis is purple.
And you're the fastest man on track.
And so it's a 108.1. That's a good time. Gonna keep pushing, see if we can break away from Ocon. It's really tough because we're giving up a lot of DRS. Alright, fastest lap attempt for George.
Yeah, copy, all good.
We still haven't broken Ocon, and I don't think we're going to. So we're going to look after the tyres, look after the battery and the fuel.
And just charge the pack.
Understood.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Yep.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Understood.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Okay, so George goes green, personal best in the first. Got a yellow flag out there. It's Hulkenberg with another issue.
Here we are then looking at turn 12.
Doing a bit more
They
lawn
just
mowing.
can't keep on the track. Really, they must be careful.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
We still have more drama to go in this race. Russell has crossed the line
We can drop the lifter coaster
with a
now, pick it up later.
108.3. That is 0.2 off Lewis's lap.
Just to reduce your speed.
Copy.
The gap stabilised at about 9.5 seconds at the moment.
Charge the pack.
Copy.
Back markers in front of Ocon and Lewis. There's a big gap opening up now between Max and Charles. Nearly 5 seconds. And the rest of the field is starting to spread out in front as well. Sainz is off the back of Stroll. Stroll has almost been dropped by Perez, who has caught Leclerc. Got a little bit of traffic in front of us here. 3 cars all in close proximity. I think that's Norris, Hulkenberg and Ricciardo.
Lewis, we're still in this race. Yeah, don't sweat it, Lewis, don't sweat it.
There's going to be a late twist on the tail in this race. Russell is going to be world champion if things stay as they are. There we see the standings if things remain as they are. George is going to be 15. It's going to be what, 76 points clear? Is that correct? My maths there, 76 points. 74 points. No, I think 76. He's more than enough points in hand, basically, to be confirmed as world champion. There'll only be 52 points available after this Grand Prix. And that would require George to not finish either of the remaining races for Lewis to even have a sniff of holding on to his title. Remember, given the fact that Russell has 11 wins to Lewis's 4 or 5, then he cannot tie. He has to win on points to win the title. So he needs to. If George finishes 52 points clear at the end of this race, he is world champion. If he finishes at 51 points clear, then Lewis needs a win and fastest lap and a retirement in both of the next races to win the title. So while he won't necessarily be out and out champion, if he's 51 points ahead after this Grand Prix, he will, George will be all but, one single solitary point will be enough. And the late charge from Max just hasn't come. Russell's actually stretching the gap slightly. Nearly 10 seconds now. And there's no traffic for Max either. He's in clear air at the moment. Crosses the line and we have 11 laps left. And Lewis makes a move on Ocon. Gets up the inside. He's going to get DRS from the Alfa Romeo. Oh, that was close. So close there.
Glazing. Let's just keep our heads down.
Right, 5.5 seconds to Stroll. And a top 6 finish. I think we're going to fail our sponsorship objectives again. We might. If we can get top 6, we can at least get the streak, the finish position streak.
Introduce a small amount of lift and coast.
Inside the final 10 laps. We've got a yellow flag out on track somewhere. Yeah, it is a lockup for Gasly. I thought I saw an Alpine going
just
slow.
Keep your eyes on Gasly here. Nothing wrong so far.
There's
and the car
lockup.
locks up. By that point, it was just too late.
Kept it out of the wall. Joe, fastest lap times like possible. It's nothing to do with dodgy programming. It's just he will have had DRS, soft tyres, while some of his competition would have been on Inters. Yeah. And it was a sprint, so it doesn't really matter because he's not going to get a point for it. Take a look at tyres. We have got better tyres than Ocon, not by a lot, but a little bit. Trying to get the battery rebuilt. Stroll is on mediums, but this fighting with Ocon is just slowing us down. We can get past him, but we can't break away from him. Which is really frustrating, because we've got enough pace to get after Stroll, but every time we get pulled back into a fight with Ocon, we start dropping away again. And Max is now over 10 seconds behind Russell. I wonder if Max is having to fuel save from pushing earlier in the Grand Prix. He's got more pace in that car than Russell has. Another yellow flag, and that is another lockup for Gasly, I think. Or is that a Williams? No, that's Gasly again.
Now we're just proceeding through turn 4. And there goes the steering. And they ended up their own passenger.
So there'll be more damage to those tyres for Gasly. It's down to 49% on them now. Not gone well for him this weekend. Ferraris are still in close proximity with each other. 4th and 5th. It's been a decent weekend for Ferrari this weekend, you know, given their form recently. I have to say I'm a little disappointed in Aston Martin, but Alonso did have that penalty. He has got himself back up to 11th. He's within 3 seconds of Gasly, and given Gasly's propensity to destroy his tyres today with lockups, I think Alonso has got every chance of actually getting into the points and rescuing what's been a disappointing weekend for him. Stroll's been decent. He's in 6th place right now, but he's not going to improve on that, I don't think.
pick up the pace.
Yep.
And just charge the pack.
Understood.
Inside the final 6 laps. Hamilton now inside 4 seconds to Stroll, who has actually caught the back of the Ferraris a little bit. I think he's pushing, and the Ferraris obviously fighting each other is not helping them. Lewis now with a chance to actually break away from Ocon. I'm going to see if we can stretch that gap. See if we can leave him behind at last. Max is on a bit of a push as well. He's got the gap down to under 9 seconds.
Up remaining.
5 remaining.
There we go. We have dropped Ocon. We're going to keep on pushing.
And think about increasing lift and coast just a little.
Understood.
How high can we get Lewis now? If we can get past Stroll, well, the Ferraris are right there. So it's possible we could maybe get Hamilton all the way up to 4th.
So we've got 4 laps remaining.
Yeah, copy.
So just charge that pack.
Yes, it is going to be tight.
Battery at the moment.
And the gap's gone back up over 10 seconds again. Russell sitting very comfortably at the top here. It was a hell of a battle about to start brewing. 4th place. The Ferraris have been joined by Stroll. Those medium tyres coming good against the slightly more worn out tyres of Sainz. Leclerc's tyres are in good shape, but he hasn't been able to hold the position. And we are closing them down. 3 laps to go. Leclerc goes around the outside of Sainz. No, up the inside of Sainz. He's got the move done. Sainz will have DRS to come back at him here. Stroll desperately trying to find a way past. Hamilton now in DRS
2
range,
laps to go.
but without any battery at the moment of any real note.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Just try and save up as much as we can.
Increase lift and coast just a little.
If we can be opportunistic and grab a position on this lap, that would be ideal. 3 cars to overtake in 1 lap is a bit of an ask. But not impossible. Yellow flag.
Yellow.
Coming.
There's a Williams. That's Albon parked up there. Did he hit somebody? Oh, I don't think he hit his teammate. Ooh, no, very nearly. Just clipped the barrier.
And for the crew watching on in the garage,
This is it. Last lap for George.
Just keep the pressure on Lewis. You can do this.
Lewis looking to go around the outside of Stroll, who's boxed in. We got him. Sainz's tyres are almost dead, but he is going to have DRS. Are we going to get boxed in behind Sainz? Stroll is still right there.
Just do the best you can.
Oh, this is tense stuff. Russell wins. But is that enough to make him world champion?
Russell wins it! First over the line. And coming in first, it's George Russell.
And he lapped Alonso.
Just amazing. I think that's a race that people will be talking about for years to come.
Big whoop from Farah. No more battery. Can Hamilton get the move done on Sainz in a desperate scrabble for the line? No. He'll take 6 though.
So we have taken the flag. So
That is going to
6.
fulfill our finish position streak. I don't think that's enough points to stop Russell winning the title though. Oh, it's going to be a nervy couple of minutes to find out.
And that is George Russell, the Drivers' Champion.
Or not.
And right now it's the British driver who proudly takes his place on the podium.
The wins just keep coming and coming. We'll be running out of superlatives at this rate, Crofty.
And that means, here in Sao Paulo, it's party time. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
They'll be absolutely delighted to have picked up the win here. What a great outcome that is for the team.
And from our team in Sao Paulo, a big thank you for joining us this weekend.
The next round of the season will see Formula One return to the States as the glitz and the glamour of Las Vegas awaits.
So there we go, confirmation of the final results. George Russell, just superb in that Grand Prix. Never really under any real threats. He just was very careful and cautious and patient in his first stint. Kept swapping back and forth with Sainz, but was looking after his tyres, bringing that fuel load down, keeping his battery available for when he needed it. And then when he made that break, never looked back. Was never under threat from that point onwards. Superb. Fantastic race for George. He's had a fantastic season. He had a bit of a wobble at the start of the season, but has really matured into a worthy champion in the second half of the season. What a recovery drive from Max at 18 places to finish second, and comfortably second as well from Checo, who also had a decent recovery, gaining 5 places to take third in the podium. Leclerc gets some good points. Sainz, having dropped down from second, finishes in 5th. Lewis does climb 9 places to finish in 6th and take the fastest lap. Good recovery drive from Lewis after a pretty disastrous sprint. Stroll drops down 4 places. Disappointment there for Aston Martin. Another great recovery drive from Ocon, gaining 9 places himself, gets 8th place. Bottas does manage to hang on for points, gets 2 more points. And Alonso does manage to get himself into the points. Again, 9 places gained. He takes the final point and was the first car to be lapped, or the first of the lapped drivers. As we scroll down a little bit further, you see Gasly not having a great weekend. Those 2 lockups did not help him in the closing stages either. Decent result for Yuki. Magnussen with a good results. And then as we look further down, Joe, just disappointing race for him, dropped 11 places. Piastri dropped 16 places and was lapped twice. He really does not have any pace in this game, unfortunately. And a bad race for Ricciardo as well, down 9 places. So let's take a look at the drivers' standings. There you see George Russell, 33 points this weekend, 9 for Lewis. That is more than enough, as George gets win number 12 and splits the sprints 3-3 with Lewis. 452 points. Trying to do some quick mental maths here. That is 63 points more than Lewis, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go with 63. And with only 52 points available in the next 2 across the next 2 Grand Prix, that is definitely George confirmed as the Drivers' World Championship. It's still on for third between the 2 Red Bull drivers. Obviously, Max getting more points than Checo here has stretched the gap up to 18, but that is not enough to guarantee third place with, as I said, over 50 available in the last 2 Grand Prix. Although that new engine is certainly going to help him against his teammate. I think Max has probably got enough to hold off Checo, but yeah, we've got a fight for third place between the 2 Red Bulls over the last couple of races. Leclerc does jump back ahead of Stroll by 1 point after a disappointing race for Stroll and a decent race for Leclerc. 1 point across the whole weekend for Alonso, coming from the sprint, and from the race, no points from the sprint. That sees him languishing down in 7th. Ocon closes him down to just 10 points behind. Sainz, having finally broken double figures, picks up another 17 points this week and is now hunting down Esteban Ocon. So yeah, Ferrari on the move. If we look a bit further down, you see Piastri does get 4 points this weekend there from the sprint. So that sees him jump above Magnussen into 13th place. 2 more points for Zhou sees him move above Alex Albon. And again, those are points from the sprint, so that will be a 6th place finish, which is why he jumps Alex Albon on terms of position count back. 3 points for Bottas. He finally gets himself off the mark this weekend. So just 2 drivers left to score, and that is the 2 AlphaTauri drivers of Ricciardo and Schumacher. Into the Constructors' Championship. There you can see Mercedes already world champions in the Constructors' Championship. 17 wins from 21 races this season. That is very, very impressive. 19 podiums on top of that as well. It has been mighty. 18 fastest laps, 14 pole positions. Red Bull are comfortable in second place. They're not going to be caught. So they are confirmed in second place. It's still going to be close between Aston Martin and Ferrari, and the pendulum is swinging again. This time it's Ferrari closing the gap back down to Aston. They are 21 points behind, and if Ferrari's uptick over the last couple of races continues, that's going to go to the wire between those 2 teams. Alpine confirmed in third place. They cannot catch Ferrari. They cannot be caught by McLaren, so they will finish in 5th place. McLaren mathematically could still be caught by Williams, but it's unlikely that Williams are going to score 30 points across the next 2 races. So McLaren are pretty much guaranteed 6th. I would say Williams, although not guaranteed, are almost certainly going to finish in 7th. Haas in 8th. Alfa Romeo with 5 points. Could we see Alfa actually try and challenge Haas? And will AlphaTauri get any points at all this season? 2 races to go to find out. If we look at the Pit Stop Championship competition, George with the fastest stop, a 1.91 gets the fastest stop. Then it's Perez, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc. Hamilton's best stop was a 2.1. AlphaTauri 7th and 8th with a 2.19 and 2.2. And then Alpine and Alexander Albon round out the top 10. That is the championship standings there. Mercedes have already won the competition. Red Bull are confirmed in 2nd. McLaren and Ferrari nip and tuck for 3rd place. Just 8 points between them. Alpine are confirmed in 5th. They cannot catch Ferrari. They cannot be caught by Aston. It's going to be interesting. That little fight there between McLaren and Ferrari, that's going to be tight. And then we see the fastest stop and the deficits to that stop. Let's take a look at the driver performances. There you see across the weekend, 16 successful overtakes, 9 failed for George, 16 successful defences and 8 failed. For Lewis, 30 overtakes, 42 failed overtakes. He has been a busy boy this weekend. 10 successful defences, 21 failed defences. It's been a very strange weekend. Those are huge overtaking numbers. No experience or no time set in practice for Teo. Obviously it's a sprint, but he will be back in the car in Vegas and Abu Dhabi. So, compulsory car purchases. We had to pay out $1.8 million for 2 front wings, and we ended up using both of them. Driver performances, we paid out a 25 grand bonus for George for finishing in the top 3. No bonus for Lewis because he didn't win the race. As far as our sponsors go, we did not hit the finish position streak, which was 2 in the top, guarantee, which was 2 in the top 4. And that was the incentive, 2 in the top 4. We didn't manage that, but no penalty for that, which is nice. In terms of the guarantees, there you see we got those done. And we did get the finish position streak complete. So while there would have been no penalty for failing that, we do get the 750 grand for it, which is important given how much we've just paid out. So yeah, there we go. So 11 days to go to Vegas. Let's take a look at our inbox. We've got a failed set of side pods and a failed underfloor for Lewis, failed rear wing for George. Let's switch those parts over. we go. So we are going to have to drop to an original spec underfloor for Lewis. That's going to be a big deficit. And what about George for the rear wing? He's going to have to drop back to the previous spec, and that's going to be a big drop for him. There we go. Let's take a look at our facilities. See if we need to give anything a little spit and polish. Everything's okay there. Everything's okay there. The race sim will probably need a little bit of a boost later. Operationally, weather center is going to need a refurb. We'll wait till that gets to the point where it does need refurbing. Same for the helipads. Everything else there is fine. Let's check in with the board. Still have high confidence because we are getting the results. You can see delighted with the result in Sao Paulo with the win. Still disappointed in the finances. You can see the cost cap break now up to 3.9 million. It's not good. It's not good. I'm going to get a big fine. Got a new ATR period that we can't do anything with. There you can see we exceeded the cost cap by another 1.8 mil this month, so we've been fined another 1.8 mil. That's not good. And just a warning that we're going to break the cost cap, which we already have done. It's advanced time. Another cost cap projection warning. We're going to go over the cost cap again this month. Can't be helped. A whole bunch of emails, and we have our driver development update. I feel another whoop coming on from Farah here. Low suspension stock, we know about that. Low front wing stock, we know about that. Nothing we can do. That is Carbon's current performance. Third now in top speed. Ninth in acceleration. DRS now down to fifth. Board confidence check-in. We've already checked in with the board. Driver development update. Here we go. Has Lewis degraded again? No, he's actually held pace this month. I was surprised by that. I must admit, I thought his stats were going to go down this month. Lewis has remained unchanged, but George has improved his defending by another point. And let's have a look at Teo. Teo improves his overtaking and his defending by a point each. So that just helps him out a little bit for next season. And that is our final pit crew before a Grand Prix. Let's just check the cumulative, see what we're like going into the Grand Prix. Okay, we could do with throwing in just a little bit of gym training, I think. Let's go with some gym training there. Let's go balanced on the other gym training. So yeah, we need to switch that to gym training as well, I think. Yeah, there we go. That'll keep us at around the 1.9 second for the race. And then what are we going to be like going into the next one? We're going to go gym training again. Yeah, there we go. We'll do that. And then we'll just leave them as they are for the rest of the month. Okay. back to the inbox. October in Formula One. Let's see what everyone else is up to. Williams have a new rear wing design. Just in time for Vegas. That'll be interesting to see what their pace is going to be like there. And spotlight on Ferrari. They're below where they expect it to be. Which is not surprising. Down in 4th place. A long way off in terms of points against Red Bull, let alone us. Oh, cost cap fine. So there we go. We got fined another 2.1 mil. And that is it. We are prepped and ready for Vegas, which is tomorrow night's Grand Prix. So there we go. We have a new world champion in George Russell, and he will have 2 races to bask in that glory. Lewis will probably be retiring at the end of the season. He may stick around in free agency. I don't know if anyone will pick him up. There are a few drivers that are going to be out of contract at the end of the season. We will go through those in more detail after Abu Dhabi. We're going to start Friday early because we're going to have a bit to get through at the end of the race in preparation for setting up the vote for who we're going to join next year, next season. So tomorrow we'll be back at 9, the usual time, and then 8 p.m. on Friday. I do hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. We had some absolutely bonkers drama in this sprint race. Just chaos. It was frustrating. It was stressful. It was entertaining as hell at the same time. And then a great fight back from Lewis, but an imperious drive at the front from George. Absolutely a worthy world champion. He's been so good, especially in the second half of this season, where he's just been notching at win after win after win, and rightly deserves the title of world champion. So we will get to see a sort of a 2-race victory lap from him before we leave Mercedes, which is quite nice. I'm glad that we do get the chance to have at least 1 race with George as a world champion before we leave the team. So until tomorrow, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.